Okay, let's unpack this. Today, our deep dive takes us somewhere we all think we know really well, the unassuming world of fast food restaurants. But beneath that familiar surface, we found some truly unsettling, unexpected accounts. Stories shared by people on the front lines, which will frankly make you rethink what's cooking and maybe what's really happening behind the counter. So our mission today is to explore these vivid narratives, not just to hear them, but to try and extract those crucial nuggets of knowledge, those insights that maybe reveal something profound about human nature when it's pushed to its absolute extremes.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is precisely that, how incredibly vivid and disturbing these shared accounts are. They portray events that just completely challenge our most basic assumptions about everyday places. Our goal isn't just to recount the tales, right? It's to go deeper, to analyze what they expose about, say, the psychological impact of the unexpected, the darker corners of the human experience, and maybe, the hidden depravity that can sometimes lurk in the most mundane settings.
Absolutely. And when we talk about dark corners, let's dive straight into our first account. This one is a really chilling narrative from a cashier, let's call her Lucy, working a late shift at a KFC. Lucy described this immediate gut feeling that troubles were waiting the moment these two teenage boys, Jackson and Liam, walked in. She mentioned their unclean presence, a kind of bad odor that sort of filled the air as they came closer. Jackson, the redhead, apparently spoke in this really cold voice, while Liam, who had a bun and dirty long hair, was just eerily silent, But seriously watching everything, he had cut marks on his face and kept looking at her in a creepy way, even licking his lips. Definitely not your average late-night customer interaction.
What immediately strikes me about this narrative is how effectively it uses those sensory details. It just instantly creates this atmosphere of dread. Lucy's instincts, they seem spot on, don't they? And the description of the boys, their look, their behavior, even those inaudible robbers, it clearly establishes a sense of menace. It signals that this isn't just like an odd encounter. It feels like a prelude to something much worse. It really plays on that natural unease we have about the unknown, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. And the tension just escalates so fast. Liam steps out for a moment, then suddenly, boom, the power cuts out inside the restaurant. But Lucy, she's sharp. She notes the streetlights outside are still on, which confirms it wasn't a general outage. Someone deliberately flipped that switch. Her coworker, Ralph, the night cook, he was in the kitchen. So Lucy goes to check on him. And that's when she steps into this gooey liquid with a weird metallic stench. Ugh. When her phone's flashlight finally works, she sees a pool of blood on the floor and Ralph brutally murdered with a deep stab wound. Talk about a sudden, just gut-wrenching shift into true horror. Then as she turns to leave, she's face-to-face with Jackson holding a blood-soaked knife. And then Liam appears from the back door. He was definitely in on it.
Right. Stepping back, what this illuminates is a terrifying, just abrupt shift from that subtle unease to, outright horror. The narrative really underscores the cold-blooded nature of these criminals. It's chilling how their main goal seems to be just the money from the register. It highlights this disturbing disconnect, between their youthful appearance and their capacity for such extreme violence. And it's also unnerving that Liam, for that brief moment, actually shows fear about going to prison, which Jackson just dismisses. It makes you confront this unsettling question. How can that mix of youthful inexperience and hardened criminality exist in the same people?
Yeah, that little flicker of fear in Liam, that's exactly what Lucy, in this moment of pure, raw survival instinct, taps into. Her counter move is ingenious, though. Yeah, undeniably brutal. She pretends the cash register is automated, says it absolutely needs the computer and the power to open. Internally, she even calls it her sinister plan. Then the power weirdly comes back on. Jackson comes to get the money bag, and she just grabs her chance. She grabs his head, slams it onto the desk so hard she smashes half of his face. Then she grabs her phone, throws chili flakes into Liam's face as he tries to run, which is such a strange detail, right? But it works. She snatches the knife, and then, in this horrifying turn, stabbed him both to death. The table's just completely violently turned.
Wow. This is where Lucy's narrative becomes profoundly unsettling and, fascinating. We see this intense, almost shocking transformation in her, from terrified victim to decisive, ruthless survivor in minutes. But the truly chilling part, I think, is the aftermath. Lucy's swift, meticulous cover-up, cleaning the mess, wrapping the bodies in garbage bags using the basement incinerator, and then she concocts this robbery story for the police. Masterfully done, apparently. And the police, when they find out the boys were escaped thugs with records, her story seems horrifyingly believable. And Lucy's internal admission, I am still the poor victim in everyone's eyes when in reality I got away with murder.
It just reveals this like primal human capacity for ruthless self-preservation. It shows how extreme stress can just shatter moral boundaries and forge this new, formidable, even terrifying identity, all in the name of survival. It's a chilling testament to the lengths the human mind will go, not just to survive, but to process and, well, rationalize the unthinkable.
Okay, so from that tale of brutal survival, let's shift gears a bit. We move now to a different kind of unsettling discovery. This one's about a troubling taste in a familiar food. Our second account comes from a college student, Sally, who worked part-time at a KFC, mostly for the free food. Understandable. Initially, she noticed something just subtly off about the chicken. An odd, almost floury sweetness, she said, with a slightly bitter aftertaste. It left her tongue feeling a bit numb. Her coworker, Jerry, noticed it too. But here's a really strange, almost profound detail, a real early warning sign. Even the stray dogs in her alley wouldn't eat the chicken she tossed out.
What immediately strikes me there is how the narrative uses these subtle yet really potent sensory details and even animal behavior. That refusal of the stray dogs, I mean, they'd normally fight over scraps, right? It creates this instantaneous, deep sense of unease. It signals a fundamental problem long before anything truly horrific unfolds. It really underlines the idea that sometimes the biggest clues aren't what you see, but what just feels slightly off, you know?
Exactly. And the bizarre changes that follow among the regular customers are truly disturbing. Sales apparently skyrocketed. Customers were coming in daily, ordering buckets worth of chicken, way more than usual. But alongside this business boom, their physical health just plummeted. They became pale and filthy with bloodshot eyes, twitching. They had red dots dotted their bodies like sore insect bites and became skeletally thin with sunken faces. Sally described them as looking more like walking corpses than people. It's horrifying.
Yeah, the broader implication here is how vividly the narrative portrays this rapid slide into addiction and the devastating physical toll it takes. The changed chicken clearly seems to be the cause of the customer's alarming behavior. It shows how quickly a seemingly harmless product can become this destructive force, turning regular people into desperate, craving individuals. It's a really stark illustration of how easily a hidden illicit substance can just hijack human will and transform a community.
And the climax of this story is just pure chaos. The restaurant ran out of the chicken one busy night, and it led to this immediate, shocking riot. Customers literally scratched and bit at one another like wild dogs over the fried chicken. People were even eagerly eating from the floor, just unimaginable. The police had to intervene, and then in all the chaos, the manager just mysteriously disappeared out the back door.
Yeah.
Vanished.
Right, and the investigation revealed the chilling truth. The spice mix tested positive for a highly addictive and very illegal drug. It was the same drug found in the system of every single customer arrested during that riot, the police theory. The manager had likely been secretly adding the drug to the chicken to boost sales. Talk about a perverse business strategy. And then he fled when he realized the gig was up.
Sally's account ends with this lingering guilt, a profound feeling that she and her coworkers could have saved a lot of people from a life of addiction they are now trapped in.
This raises a really important question, doesn't it? About the insidious nature of complicity. Not just active participation, but that quiet, unexamined acceptance of subtle red flags. Sally's story, it feels like a stark warning. It forces us to confront the ethical burden of ignorance, maybe. How much responsibility do we bear when our complacency or just our failure to ask deeper questions enables harm, even if we don't know what's happening? It makes you wonder, how often do we miss the obvious signs just because they're wrapped up in the mundane?
Okay, our final deep dive today takes us into Noah's account. He was a longtime KFC employee, 12 years, on the verge of becoming manager. He befriended this lovely chubby kid named Timmy, a regular who spent his days there seemingly to escape fighting parents. Timmy was known for vigorously licking his fingers after eating. That detail becomes important. Then there was this mysterious hooded man, Mr. Cornelius, who apparently created this tense vibe whenever he showed up. And he always specifically ordered finger-licking good ones.
Yeah, what's immediately striking here is the narrative's powerful and frankly deeply unsettling use of foreshadowing and irony, especially with Timmy's innocent habit and that world-famous KFC slogan, right? Ordinary, even comforting details get twisted into something profoundly disturbing. It hints at the horror to come. It just makes you realize how easily the familiar can be subverted into the truly horrifying.
And the horror unfolds on Noah's last night as just a regular employee. He makes this absolutely horrifying discovery in the kitchen. Young Timmy's corpse. Even more grotesquely, his hands have been mutilated as all his fingers have been cut off. And then Noah sees the hooded man, Mr. Cornelius, casually dropping what he first thinks are fries dipped in ketchup into the deep fryer. But a closer stomach-churning look reveals the unimaginable. He was dropping bloody human fingers into the hot oil.
Wow. That moment delivers just profound shock value, doesn't it? And a brutal violation of innocence that really hits hard. In the larger context, this story taps into those deepest fears of hidden depravity lurking in familiar, everyday places. It completely subverts our trust in the mundane and reveals this truly unspeakable act. It's the ultimate betrayal of expectation, isn't it? That something so vile could exist right under our noses in a place meant for simple pleasure.
What's maybe even more chilling is the manager showing up right after Noah's discovery. In his disturbingly calm confession, he reveals Mr. Cornelius is just their night show, doing the needful.
Yes.
And that seasoned human fingers are, in fact, the special spice needed for that famous finger-licking good taste. Then, in this horrific twist, Noah is pressured to try a chicken wing, and to his utter horror, he finds it has a beautiful, sweet taste.
Ugh. This is where Noah's profound moral compromise really unfolds, I think. His journey illustrates this terrifying psychological thing, the slippery slope of moral erosion. It shows how the lure of ambition, maybe coupled with exposure to the unthinkable, can just desensitize someone, slowly eroding their conscience until these horrific acts become just the needful. He accepts the manager position, and for 5 years, 5 long years, he ignores missing people posters that he knows are connected to what's happening in his kitchen. He's haunted by Timmy's face every night, seeks peace by sharing a story, but explicitly says he's not telling this story for forgiveness, neither am I telling it out of remorse. It's such a chilling look at the human capacity for complicity, not just in action, but in the silence that lets unimaginable horror continue. It raises a truly uncomfortable question, right? About the price of ambition and how easily some people can rationalize the grotesque for personal gain.
So when we bring these 3 incredibly unsettling accounts together, Lucy's brutal survival, Sally's accidental complicity, Noah's chilling moral compromise, what does this all mean? What connects them?
Well, when you synthesize these diverse accounts, this powerful common thread emerges, doesn't it? The idea of hidden horrors lurking just beneath the polished surface of everyday life. These seemingly benign establishments. Each story, in its own disturbing way, shatters our comfortable assumptions about the mundane world. They force us to confront the profound psychological impact on the narrators. You see Lucy's radical transformation into this self-preserving force, Sally's lingering guilt over what she didn't see or didn't act on, and Noah's chilling desensitization and that heavily burdened conscience. These narratives, whatever their origin, they tap into a really primal human anxiety, I think, about what we don't see or know about the familiar world around us and how easily our trust can be exploited or just completely shattered. They really reveal the extraordinary depths and sometimes, the depravity of human nature when faced with the unimaginable.
It's truly a testament, isn't it, to how these deep dives into shared narratives can reveal surprising facts, surprising insights, even when the stories are as incredibly dark as these ones are. It really reiterates the value of looking closely, questioning the ordinary, and understanding that there are complex, often terrifying layers that exist just beneath the surface of what we think of as normal. This kind of exploration isn't just about the stories themselves, but really about what they teach us about the very fabric of human experience and the world we live in. And with that, we bring this unsettling deep dive to a close, a journey that has certainly made us think differently about those everyday places we often take for granted.
Indeed. Next time you find yourself in a familiar setting, maybe grabbing a quick bite, you might just find yourself wondering, what other stories are truly hidden beneath the surface?